Cancer. First of all, happy birthday. Some of my favorite people on this earth are Cancer. Shout out to my nail tech, Mimi, who's a Cancer. This is really a matter of head and heart, right? Which is kind of like the internal, or the eternal, rather, struggle of being a Cancer. First out the deck, we had Temperance with Two of Pentacles. And both of these figures are attempting to create balance. Essentially, Temperance is trying to create emotional balance, right? We have 2 cups, and we have 1 foot in water and 1 foot on land. So, where do your emotions meet reality, right? Because our emotions are always real because we're feeling them, and what we feel and what we sense, what we know in our mind builds our personal reality, right? Eyes are the eyes of the beholder build someone's perception, right? And then over here, the Two of Pentacles is standing on 1 foot. So first of all, the grounding that you need in the physical realm is going to be found in the non-physical. Okay? And I feel the phrase like working behind the scenes. So there's already things and people, I feel, pulling strings on your behalf in a positive way. Now, this is making me not anxious, but it's giving me this heart-centered feeling of like anticipation, okay? Anticipation. And Temperance obviously rules healing, right? And patience. In that, what is it? Corinthians? Love is patient, love is kind. Just came into my head. So, the one who can endure and still have a steady heart is the true warrior. Okay? That's the kind of energy that you're anointing yourself with as you move into your new solar year, Cancer. Okay, over here we have the Ace of Wands with the Queen of Cups, which is, I feel, recognition, physically, passionately, creatively, of something that you have known for a long time. Okay, because the Queen of Cups deep dives. This is more of a Scorpio card to me than it is a Cancer card. And this Temperance card, obviously, even though it rules Sagittarius and alchemy, for me, the way this water is lapping up on the land, that's how I see Cancer. I see Cancer as where the sand meets the ocean's sand, ocean's water. What am I saying? So when it comes to your creativity, when it comes to your ability to strike out on your own and make your own decisions and be seen as someone that is independent and fierce, despite having all of these emotions, because that's another thing too. I feel that Cancers oscillate between like, y'all got me fucked up and like coming really out of pocket, and then just like ruminating. So I feel like the power that you desire, the independent power that you desire, the creative, spiritual knowing and fervor that you desire comes from taking action on deep knowings that you have felt ruminating in your soul for quite some time. Okay? And that's where all things start to click into place and you're not feeling like you're working a balancing act all the time. Because emotions need a vessel, okay? And they need an outlet, as well as anger, right? So let's get into the whole spread because this is a lot. Like, I'm feeling a lot of things. It's y'all season anyways, but this got me feeling some type of way. Don't let it get to your head, meaning like don't make it a mental game. Don't make it mental pressure because it doesn't need to be that way. All right, Cancer. First of all, there's a lot of water players, if you will, in this spread. And again, there's not a lot of cups energy, right? So I don't think this is a matter of you figuring out how you feel or you needing to process your emotions. This month is acting on and putting into the physical what you have known for quite some time. Okay, this feels like you've known this. I have chills right now. Like, and I kind of want to cry. Like, this is something that resonates with you so deeply. So deeply. Like, it's so moving. You know what I mean? And the overall energy this month is the Seven of Pentacles. So, The Seven of Pentacles, we worry about whether or not something is ever going to come to pass in a physical way. Okay? We worry if the fruits of our labor are not, we're not worthy, that it was a waste of time. Right? There's some fear energy attached to the Seven of Pentacles, but there's also a little bit of tired energy, like, damn, I've been working, where is it? Where is it? The anticipation. Now, towards the end of July, there is an eclipse in Cancer, which kicks off your eclipse cycle, even though it's going to go back into Leo and Aquarius. However, I feel this is kind of going to give you the jolt that you've been looking for, as well as the embrace. I genuinely, like, right now, it feels like someone has their arms around me and like their head is just like sitting here because they're holding me from behind. And even if you don't have someone in your physical world that can give you that kind of comfort, that can give you that kind of embrace, know that spirit, right? Whoever you pray to, whoever you believe in, is holding you and is giving you the nurturing and loving support. And I'm feeling almost too validation that you've been longing for a long time. So worry not, my child, about whether or not you're going to see the physicality of everything that you've been waiting for. And more so focus eyes ahead, eyes up on the future, because that's really what this is about. I feel that these seeds that you have planted are going to manifest, right? This is a 7, and we are in the 7th month. But I feel like they're going to ripple for the next 7 months, which eclipses run in 6-month cycles anyways. So, and I plan to do eclipse readings as well. So stay tuned for those. Now, what you're being asked to release is the 3 of Swords with the 5 of Wands. And on the 5 of Wands, we have prosperity. So sometimes we have so much angst and concern and just overall pain in our heart. Now, the 3 of Swords to me usually is like things that have long passed, right? Even if the pain is still getting activated, the situation that created the initial wound is long gone, right? But we carry it almost like a badge of honor. The 3 of Swords can be a very jaded type of energy. It's a scar that everybody can see. And it's like, you don't even really want to hide it sometimes. Like sometimes you're like, yes, I am hurt. I am jaded. Like this, whatever. But this month, Cancer, I feel like, one, you're no longer struggling to identify with your pain. Meaning like you're no longer putting up a fight to say this pain, this terrible thing that happened, this whatever, I still identify with it. It is part of me. The narrative is changing and it's becoming, this situation helped me become this person, right? Taught me this. Because with the 5 of Wands and prosperity, sometimes we push away exactly what we want because 1, we don't understand its form, and 2, we're too hurt and scorned about certain things, even if we don't want to admit it, to let it in. And this, I also feel there's an identification here of love being tough and just loving energy, that it comes with a price and that we have to fight for ourselves. And because it's with prosperity, if you've been fighting for work or you've been fighting about money or things that would enable you to be prosperous, I feel the struggle is going to be over once you realize that, like, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody about anything. Because this pain can be completely unrelated to your ability to gain wealth or whatever. And also remember that you can't bury yourself in your work ever to the point that you won't remember what upset you or what caused you to get into that mode. You know what I mean? It's inevitable. It's going to come out. If you think about a crab in its shell, A lot of stuff can get stuck in a shell, right? You can carry a lot in there because the crab's body is a lot smaller than its armor, right? So what are you filling that vacant space with, Cancer? Are you filling it with scorn? Are you filling it with memories of having to struggle? Like, did you grow up in a household where your parents never got along and it was always a fight to keep money and like maybe they loved each other deeply, right? But they were just incompatible financially. They couldn't establish similar financial goals and something like that. Because there's this need, this instinctual desire to fight for and compete for wealth and just an overall good life, if you will. Meaning like a secure life, a life where you believe all your needs are met. And there's pain and fear, okay, fear primarily, around the fact that you're going to have to struggle to enjoy yourself, okay? And that's getting eradicated this month if you really start to look at these other cards. Look at these other cards. Like, look at your center energy. Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups, Eight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. Spirit's advice, High Priestess, and the Justice. This is profound, okay? But it requires removing your battle armor, okay? It requires molting your shell. A new one will grow back, but it will be grown out of different materials and it will be grown for a different reason, okay? The door that's now open, that was once closed. We have the King of Wands with the Moon. And on the Moon, we have luck. So again, there's this theme here. It's like financial or physical abundance and wealth mixed with emotional knowing. Okay? Now, the Moon is ambiguous. And though technically, you know, in the tarot, it rules Pisces, it is your card, right? And I don't know. I think you guys get a full moon and the eclipse is on a new moon. So on the full moon in your season, definitely focus on what you want to turn in your favor, right? Luck is when things turn in our favor. So whatever ritual you do, it's important you release beliefs around things or people or situations blocking your abundance and blocking your independence. Because remember how the Queen of Wands came up in the beginning and now we have the King. The King is entrepreneurial. The King is self-motivated. He's driven and he's really unstoppable. Okay? He doesn't need anyone to tell him what to do or what to go after. However, it's interesting that that kind of energy is paired with the Moon because you may feel like you're on like a fool's errand when it comes to something that you're working really hard for because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel and you're just like moving through only your with your intuition, only with your heart. And it's like you're so close to giving up because you're just like, I've been fighting for this for a long time. I've been putting all of my effort because the King of Wands is very willful. Okay, he's very, very determined. This is not a typical, quote, Cancerian energy. This is something else that I feel that you're channeling or you have been channeling, okay, or you're going to channel. It could be another person, right? Or if you have a lot, if you have other Leo placements, rising, moon, a Venus and Mars combination, things like that, personal planets, this could definitely be you. Because I feel there's this need to like no holds barred, go after something that only you understand. And there's going to be no logical backing to what you're doing. And it's going to require a deep, deep sense of faith and a deep, deep sense of universal support. Because, and I say that because yes, the Moon can be deceptive. The Moon is fantasy based, right? But we have luck here. And the King of Wands knows what he's doing, okay? He's never really led astray. He's always aware of the goal, the end game, okay? He doesn't do things for play. He does things for money. He does things for recognition. He does things for status. And he does things to set up generations down the road. But not in a King of Pentacles kind of way where he plays it safe. The King of Wands is willing to go out on a limb, okay? And I say that it's something that only you understand deep, deep in your soul, because we have the High Priestess here in Spirit's advice for you, and the marriage rune is on it, which at the very least is about commitment, right? Needing to commit to something. So this can be contractual because we have Justice here, okay? So there's been something that I feel you've been fighting for, and it's been really painful for you to fight about it, or it's triggered. The fight that you've been fighting has either been triggering old wounds, or you're fighting over something that already caused you pain. And you know that you've set yourself up for success. Six of Wands behind that. You know you set yourself up for success, but it's not clear on the physical realm yet, and that has you shook. That one wanted to come out. Yeah. That's the Three of Swords again. Over here. Okay, so are you going to let pain dictate what you do? Or are you going to let the avoidance of pain dictate what you do? Because, you know, fear is fear. Okay, lovely. So over here we have the Emperor, and we have the Chariot, and we have Justice again. If you're waiting to hear from court, if you're waiting to hear back on a contract at work or something very official, a house contract, this could definitely be the business type of contract, because the Emperor, you know, rules all that kind of stuff. Okay, but we have Justice twice. This one wants to come up too, in the Sun. This could be about children. Okay, children, custody, houses, business, all that kind of stuff. I feel that it may not be clear to you right now that you're going to win, because you have, like, and are come out in your favor, because in the outcome, there's this fear of something being too good to be true. Honestly. But you need to have faith. I know the Star is not here, and I think it's because this is something that is a lot more ambiguous. And it's important that you focus your energy on something that seems surreal. Okay, but we have the power to bring that down and ground it into the physical. Okay, because the Emperor is also the card of the Father. Okay, so this is about being your own leader. Okay, even in the dark, can you lead yourself to the promised land? Can you lead yourself to the sun? Okay, because this is again motion that is going to take you far into the future. Far into the future. This is big stuff, Cancer. This is like really, it's really taking a toll on my heart space, like in a good way, but it's also really pushing your throat chakra, okay, to open. So if you're the type of a person to wait and wait and wait and wait and withhold, and then you blow, this is going to teach you that you have to speak how you feel right when you feel it, so that you don't ever have those like implosions, those little geyser moments, okay? Because your feelings deserve to see the light of day, okay? In a manner that is digestible, not to do other people favors, but to do you a favor, all right? In your head, we have the Queen of Cups with the rune Disruption. In your heart, we have the Knight of Cups with the Eight of Wands. And in your foundation, we have the Eight of Pentacles with the rune Future. So as I said, everything that you're working on this month is about building a life for yourself that you're proud of and that makes you feel safe and brings you the comfort that you've been desiring for a long time. Yeah, now we have the Empress. We've had the Emperor and the Empress. So this could be about marriage. This could be about, again, like parenting, okay? Or bringing the divine feminine, divine masculine fully aligned. And in order to do that, we have to purge certain elements, okay? Now, like I said, it's imperative that you stay future focused. Whatever has happened up until now, no matter how wrong or disruptive or destructive or just whatever, it could really be so many things. You have to not allow it to hold back or derail you from what you know to be true in your soul. Okay? Because you have your eye on the prize. You're becoming the best version of yourself. Okay? And anyone that can't see that, anyone that does not have the perception, that does not have the eyes, that does not see you in your entirety, does not deserve to be there at the end. And you don't have to weed them out. All you have to do is just keep, I don't even want to say keep your head down, but like, you know, he's toiling away. This is also about saving money for your future and invest. This could also be investing financially in your future as well. Creating a nest egg, if you will. Because look, 7 of Pentacles, he's like looking over at his money. He's only been able to harvest 1 coin. So if you're waiting for like a lot of chickens to hatch and only 1 does, that doesn't mean that the rest of them are you know, dead. Like, it just means that if you got everything that you asked for all at once, you'd be so overwhelmed you wouldn't know what to do. Knight of Cups with the 8 of Wands in your heart space is truly beautiful. And I feel that you're going to get an invitation this month to soften. And it's not that your heart wasn't already soft to begin with. It's just not perceived that way. Okay? Because there's only certain moments and certain people and certain scenarios that you reveal all of that to yourself with. And there's this fear of being taken advantage of. Right? And it may very well have been taken advantage of in the past. But you have tools now. I mean, this guy has armor on. He has secured himself from being damaged. Because these 8 of Wands is change. It's what is it pointing towards? It's pointing towards the High Priestess. So some of you may be involved with another water sign or a highly intuitive person that, you know, you've been trying to rectify things with or trying to express yourself with. And I think that is the case. Or if you've been unsure, like if there's been something that you've been sensing and it's just like it wasn't being said though about how someone felt about you or how about you felt about them, I feel it's going to come to light. If this is creative, I feel that you're going to be extremely inspired this month. And I feel like the water faucet is just like on, like full blast. You're going to be getting a lot of messages from spirit, a lot of message from the beyond, if you will. This could even be ancestors. This could be like, you know, you have a dream where someone that passed away comes and talks to you in the dream. But your heart is very open. And your heart is open to change, having a change of heart. Not really because what you're going to be, it's not like you're going to change on a dime. Like all of a sudden you feel like this about somebody and you do a complete 180. It's not like that. It's more of like you were going to cut yourself off, let's say, or not share yourself or not express yourself. And suddenly you're ready to make those moves. Because the Knight of Cups does move slowly, but he's very romantic and he's very considerate with every single step he takes. So you may be getting messages from people like that or you're sending them out to them. But regardless, the universe is really in your favor when it comes to self-emotional expression. Now, with the Queen of Cups in your headspace in the rune disruption, I feel that you're no longer allowing your mind to be disturbed or disrupted by other people. And the thing about the Queen of Cups is the Queen of Cups tends to keep things to herself. So either if this is a different person, I feel that she's going to tell you something that's going to disrupt what you previously had thought about her or just in general. But yeah, but also with the Page of Pentacles here, I feel you have an opportunity this month to change people's mind. Not because you're going to be convincing them, but because, again, something that you've been sitting on. This Queen of Cups, you've been sitting on this information. You've been sitting on this intuitive knowing for a long time. And I feel when you express it, it's going to, quote, disrupt the status quo or whatever has been like the norm, okay, in your life. Because people weren't expecting it. Yeah, 7 of Cups with the Death card, okay? So it's something that's kind of coming out of left field. And I also think that you have a lot on your mind with the Seven of Cups because you realize things can go a lot of different ways. But that's why it's important to stay steadfast and really listen to your heart this month. Yeah, because then we have the Queen of Pentacles with the Ten of Wands. So don't let practical matters like weigh you down, okay? And do whatever you need to do to keep your mind clear of distractions and of disturbances. Yeah, because then we have the now. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. And now we have the Eight of Wands, and then we have the Seven of Swords. So if you find out, and with the Ten of Swords, so if you find out about something that didn't work out or is upsetting to you or whatever, don't allow it to disrupt your focus. Like, just allow it to move you forward. Okay, I hope that makes sense. That message at the end there definitely wasn't for everybody. But don't let anybody rock your boat. Okay, it's important that you do you and that you focus forward on your own life and your own goals because that's all that really matters at the end of the day. Okay? Spirit's, throwing stuff. Spirit's advice for you. High Priestess with the Rune Marriage. And we have Justice. So, fairness is subjective, right? It really is. And again, with the High Priestess in the marriage rune here, it is imperative that you commit to what you know to be true in your heart. Period. That's extremely important. And that you commit to your inner knowing. Okay? Because nobody knows better than you do. They just don't. And the level of knowledge that you have the ability to tap into and inquire and read between the lines. The High Priestess reads between the lines. Again, she doesn't really talk a lot and she doesn't really move a lot. Neither does the Queen of Cups, right? So you have a lot of energy here that doesn't really move, but they perceive. So it's important that you commit to perceiving the truth instead of trying to extract it from other people. And it doesn't matter whether or not someone says and validates verbally what you perceive, you still need to go with that. Okay? And with Justice here, you may, again, not really know up front that you've won the battle. Like you may like not know you won the war because you didn't win the battle. You know what I'm saying? But you need to stay true. Stay true to you. Stay true to you. Stay true to you. That seems like a super important message. Yeah. Because there are two sides to every coin. And there are always going to be other options. Like, you know, and I use this term loosely, but like the devil be working. You know what I'm saying? So the temptation is always there to not believe. Temptation is always there to be indecisive and to not want to believe what we feel in our heart. Okay? Especially when it comes to decisions with lovers or decisions of advancing to a higher form of ourselves. Right? And when we can feel the levity of our decisions, when we can feel that the move that we're about to make is pivotal for our lives, right? It can get kind of heavy, right? And then we have the Seven of Pentacles again. But do not allow lack of manifestation on this physical plane solidify for you what is and what is not true. Okay? Because when it comes to merging with your highest self, when it comes to taking a path, you have to stay true to what you know, not what you can show. Okay, Three of Cups. Stay true to what you know, not what you can show, and you will be able to celebrate. You will stand in the winner's circle. Okay? And you will get your fair share. Six of Crystals. You will get what is owed to you. You will get what you would deserve. And reciprocity will reign supreme again. In the outcome, we have the Nine of Wands with the rune Success. And the Four of Cups with Trust. So if this is, again, some type of legal situation, anything that requires, you know, litigation of sorts, you know, you may feel like, again, your win is not real. You may have to compromise a little bit with it, because the Four of Cups with Trust is saying that, like, you, like, one party may have had this idea, and another party may have had this idea, and then the third party moderator may have another idea, and then let's say the judge comes up with a fourth idea that kind of favors both parties, but also adds an element that both of you didn't anticipate. And you have to trust that. Okay? You have to trust that. We can't reject things just because we didn't conceive them. Okay? Obviously, make sure it resonates. But with the Four of Cups, it's usually not that it resonates. It's just not what our idea of the plan was, right? But like my grandmother used to say, we plan, God laughs. So there's that. With the Nine of Wands is hesitation and fear that the past is going to repeat itself, right? That we made all these changes. Because it's like when you start to make changes and when you start to really open up your heart, what is Spirit going to do? Spirit's going to challenge you to say, like, oh, you're really about that life? So here's a trigger that's going to remind you of the reason why you shut your heart down in the first place. And I encourage you to really believe in your success, your ability to be successful, and believe that you've overcome. Believe that you've moved beyond. Because you have to trust yourself. You have to trust your own judgment, and you have to trust that what you've worked for is yours. Okay, so don't give in to the it's too good to be true type of energy, okay, because that's a very false type of energy. We got the Five of Crystals, the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Swords. So if you're having to fight over something financial or to bridge a gap, right, something that has been held away from you, something that you feel has been stolen from you or was stolen from you. Serenity here, the Hermit, is saying that you know that every challenge you've been put through brings you closer to understanding your true nature. And that's not to say that we should endure suffering to come to a self-understanding, but there's a decision that you have to make. And again, you may not win the battle, but you can still win the war. Justice. So sometimes things are out of our hands, but we have to trust the divine plan. Okay? And there we go, the Knight of Cups. And sometimes the Five of Pentacles, it's about we've struggled, right? We've struggled to show what we value and what we focus on and what we prioritize. Seven of Wands, okay? And ultimately, we may not get there overnight. The Knight of Wands would get us there in a day. The Knight of Swords would get us there, you know, in like an hour. But the Knight of Cups takes their time. And when you take your time really crafting something, you know, what is birthed is worth it. Okay, so this reading was super long, and I apologize, but I know you're going to enjoy it. I was getting a lot of messages for you guys. Honestly, I feel like I could sit here and talk, like, for another 30 minutes. That's way too many cards, though. This is the right one, though. I am ready to be healed. I am willing to forgive. All is well. I love and accept my family exactly as they are right now. Family is a funny thing. It's interesting because Cancer rules family, really. Family's a funny thing. I think when we're growing up, obviously what household we grow up in tells us, you know, or gives us an example of what we're going to see for our family. Either we want to emulate it or we want to do everything in our power to not copy it, right? And then life happens, right? Life starts to happen. And usually what ends up happening is we have a blend of the family we grew up in and the ideals that we have for ourselves. And we can be resentful about that, or we can be mad about that, and we can go through hell and high water to change situations, but some things can't be changed, like other people. Other people can't be changed. And that's not to say we need to love toxic people up close, right? I'm not talking about toxic people, though. I'm talking about people that love you but are different than you, or that you have to play nice with for the sake of a child or for the sake of, a mother, right? And healing is available to everybody. And that's what this is really about here in the heart space more than anything. Healing is available to everybody. And pain only lasts as long as we want it to, really. But if you don't take off the Band-Aid, the air and the light are never going to get at that wound, and it's never going to make a scab, and that scab is never going to, heal the skin underneath and make you born again, make you new again. Cancer, I love y'all very, very much, and I'll be back soon. Peace.